Hi guys, Mahatma here. So this week my friend Lucy and I sat down with Carola Kinasha. She's a talented and legendary musician as well as a dear friend. Our interview covered her upbringing as a traditional Maasai, her hustles in the music industry, national service, military jail, and more. Hope you enjoy. I wrote down that your father played the accordion and your brothers played piano, organ and guitar, and your mom was in the village choir. Is that still going on?
Yeah, and she's 95.
To this day.
Wow.
Singing in the...
And she still sings?
Yes,
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, so what was it like?
Impressive.
Let's start there. What was it like growing up in such an environment?
I should consider myself very lucky,
Right.
really, because the kind of family I grew up with. First of all, we're very religious because my father was a priest in church, but also that gave us access to certain things that other kids around us did not have,
Right.
like music. And my elder brothers went to school during the time when music was taught in schools. By the time I started, it was no longer there.
Right.
So they could really play good instruments, and most of them still play. The one I always escorted me here plays guitar very well, and my other brothers were playing piano, or the church organ and all that. But the family itself was very musical even when we were at home.
Right.
Apart from being associated with church, at home I was among the youngest.
Right.
So all these older people will go like to secondary school, come back on holiday, come bring different type of music to the house. So we always had, we were listening to all sorts of music from all over the world.
So how many of you?
Just a second. When you say the church organ, you mean like the pipe, the one with the pipes at the
No,
back, or
those
No,
piano.
we didn't have a pipe at that time.
Oh,
It was
okay.
no more like a piano. But he does play, when he is somewhere where there's a pipe one, he plays that too.
I'm very fascinated by those.
It sounds amazing. Every
They
time
do sound
when you start,
amazing.
school hymns, I used to
Right?
brings that feeling within you.
It's amazing how I don't know how they make those pipes resonate, and if you're in a huge church or a cathedral,
Yeah.
the effect is,
I think because it's all hollow and round and whatnot. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just aesthetically pleasing. Also.
Yeah.
So, do you play any instruments?
I play a little bit of guitar. I don't use it much on stage really, but
Yeah.
I use it to write my songs.
Right.
Yeah, because I think I've never been confident enough. With some people, maybe one or two songs I normally use my guitar, but I know mostly I prefer to have other people playing for me.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. But so and your band, I had it here just now. That you formed in the late 1980s. Were your family members involved in it, or was it a separate venture for you?
This was a totally separate venture because my family members did not do music professionally.
Right.
I'm the only person who decided to do music professionally, and now that on its own was a big no from parents,
Yeah,
because
I was about to say.
I just finished university. I did international relations and French. I passed well with honors.
Nice.
And they wanted me to work.
Yeah.
And I was even thinking, one day I'll be a translator or a diplomat. But my hobby became stronger. And at that time, when I was just finishing college, there was a band for me.
Right.
And they'd already called me. They say, we want you as our singer, because they'd seen me working with bands, hotel bands like Tanzanites, who at that time were called Bakis, and Jenje, who at that time were called the Revolutions.
Yeah.
So they would call me on weekends. I'll go and work with them. We had another band called MK Group, and we were just working, with a friend of mine, Lucinda, that we went to college together. So we did that, and but then I already decided in my head that this is what I want to do.
Yeah.
This is what I have passion
At what point
for.
did you decide? Was it like when you were high school or when you were...
Already in high school, I think I
This is still in Arusha?
No, I went to school in Dar es Salaam. I came to Dar es Salaam from the time I was 14 or 15. I moved to Dar es Salaam. So I did my secondary school in Zanaki.
Okay.
Yeah, and then I went to high school at the same Zanaki.
Yeah.
Then I went to national service in Oljoro, Arusha, and Bulani. Then University of Dar es Salaam.
How long in the national service?
It was a year. At that time, we
Did
did a year.
I'm sure you put on shows for everyone there.
Oh,
on
yeah.
the weekends.
Oh, actually, I'll make you laugh a little. The first day I arrived at Oljoro, I was always carrying my guitar everywhere I went because my guitar was fun. So I have a guitar.
And they allowed that?
I have my luggage and I'm approaching and I hear this sound. I say, Bab. Mlokole amekuja baba. Tuna mlokole amekuja na gitaa, anafikiri jeshini tunapiga gitaa. So I was like, my goodness, what are they going to do? They took my guitar away. It was no nonsense. And I entered, but they're all looking at me like, they
What's
thought,
up?
That time, if it's a girl playing guitar, you must be a mlokole. But I was playing my own songs, I was writing my own songs. But after 2 or 3 months of after the first month, I was called by one captain who was actually head of culture, and he said, I have your guitar. Every Sunday you can come to my place and use your guitar, because Sundays were the only free days.
Right.
So every Sunday I'll have a guitar and we will be sitting with my friends, singing. A lot of my high school friends knew my songs, so they would, join in. It was fun. It was really fun.
So I feel like people always breeze through that nowadays. We talk about national service. I wanted to just talk about that for a bit. What was that experience like, straight out of high school into national service? Because that's almost unheard of right now. Imagine that.
I thought they brought that back.
Did they?
Yeah, but not in the way that it was done.
Because it was an
time.
official.
Yeah.
It was an
With
official.
us-
I think this time around is about 6 months, if I'm not wrong.
And then you're not. At that time, it was an obligation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Without that,
Yeah,
you
now
wouldn't-
it's
you
not an
wouldn't
obligation.
Go to university.
Yeah.
And I believe that this is something really good.
You're right,
Because for me, of course, at that time, we were so afraid because everybody is telling you the army is this, the army is that. And of course, it is hard. It was not easy because you are coming from school, you're still young, and all of a sudden you're locked in a place where you can't go anywhere without permission. You can't, even when you ask for permission, you're not. So it was tough at the beginning. But today, when I reflect back, this is the time I would not give up for anything else. It was
I don't
probably
know. I feel like
best
that,
time.
the concept of it is just brilliant on its face.
Yeah.
Just straight out of high school, do a year.
Okay,
Yeah.
so my concern,
Yeah.
like I'm looking at your locks and they look really, really nice. How long have you kept them?
I had locks since '97, though I cut them. I shortened them from time to time. Otherwise, they would be like, I'll be walking,
Nice.
stepping on them.
So like
Since
with the army,
1997,
with the
No, at that
army
time
and
I
going
didn't.
bold.
No, I didn't have that.
That would have traumatized me.
They did our we had to do our hair either in lines, like which looked okay, or cut your hair. Most of the time in the army my hair was short anyway, because
Because it's out of high school. Your hair's not long in high school.
we didn't care much about some people cared about hair. Some of us, I think I have a lot of hair, and I knew that my hair would always grow back. So I had, and there was a time I was put in jail for a while, and they shaved me.
Who you put in jail?
Yeah.
Okay, now I want to hear the
I
story.
was naughty.
Side note.
I was naughty. In the army, I was really
Is this for
naughty.
the podcast or this is like a
military
sidebar
Yeah,
story?
military jail. And
can't
I'll be
get court-martialed.
carrying buckets of food, for other prisoners and other, the quarter guard people. And I'll be walking with that bucket and
did
looking
you
so
do?
that. Just most of the time, going away without permission.
Sneaking
Yeah,
out.
those are
Sneaking
basic.
out,
That's the
coming
right-
back, late. You're
Chance
answering back to a commander or something because
Yeah.
you think now you're in the army and you're
Yeah.
tough.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you get that. Yeah.
That's
But I was in jail most of the time.
They have quite creative punishments there, don't they? I remember one of the stories that I think my aunt told me was somebody or a group of people weren't allowed to walk. So, do they have similar stuff where
They weren't allowed to walk.
They're not allowed to walk or stand still.
They knew this
everywhere.
All day long.
Oh,
No, all of us actually. The first 3 months in the army, there's most of the ground in the army is called smart area. So there was nobody who was allowed to walk in smart area. So we jog for 3 months. You're jogging, you're jogging, you're jogging. And it was cool because like why I was always put in jail. They have something they call extra entry. And when I went to the army, I was already a very fit person because I was coming from karate. I was doing a lot of I was fit.
Right.
So for them, every time they gave us their 45 minutes grill, I did everything easy, and they didn't like that. They wanted me to suffer. I was not. So they decided to become hard on me.
Right.
To put me in line. But I'll tell you, there's not one day that I regret being there. It was one of the best experiences.
I'm always envious of people who start talking about that because more than that, I feel like just as a national patriotic, just bringing people into the fold of listen. As soon as you finish, because at the same time when you go to university, that's paid for. Yeah. So they're gonna cover your tuition fees, but it's like not only do you you're serving your country. No, it's like you need a bit of discipline. You 18-year-old, let's just do this. So I don't know.
I think you become a patriotic there.
Yeah, you have to.
Nobody cares whether you are a minister's child or a president's child or the most rich child.
And
you are all equal.
And you bond in absurd suffering. Absolutely. Like if a whole group of 15 people get punished and you have to stay up all night working. 20 years later, you'll be talking about.
Okay, so what was like the most difficult punishment you were given?
Oh, many. Many were very, very difficult.
Okay, like the one that really got to you.
They'll kick you, when they think they want to make you. The point there is that you obey. You're learning how to obey orders. Because if you're in the army, you have to say yes. You don't question.
Yes,
anybody who is a rank above you is you listen to. So that the instinct. So sometimes they will beat you up. They will really beat you up. And being in jail was tough because you have to work more than others, and you still have to go to other routines like everybody else. But you're working extra. You're working in the bustani. All the time you're busy doing something. But I'll say something. What I always say that Israel today is one of the strongest nations in the world in terms of a stand in influence. And this is because they have this. This is an obligation for every Israeli.
I always admire that.
And we are running away from something that really put us together, something that built us as people. I would really love the army to come back in the same fashion that it was in our time.
But then, it did help though that you knew that, at least my tuition's
it's covered,
absolutely.
Covered, so.
Even when we were there, we were given allowance once in a while. We ate ugali na maharage, and I remember the first day I went, I was given food, and I was eating like, what is this? After 1 week, you're crying for that food.
Exactly.
But you will eat it and you will enjoy it.
So that's it. Thanks for watching. This is all very new here, and we're working hard behind the scenes to ensure we bring you quality content on a consistent basis. So do subscribe, share, click the notification button to stay notified. And if you have any questions, be free to hurl them at us and shout it wherever in the comment section or wherever you might be able to find us. Links in the description. Thank you.